Loft look without loft prices? Sign me up. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome. I moved into my first apartment this year, but it didn't come without a struggle. If you're new to my channel, I have a whole story time video on how I moved into my dream loft apartment and had to move out 2 hours later. Like, I'm talking, we got everything in there and then we had to leave. So I'll put that video up here in case you're interested in checking that out when you're done. But for this video, I'm showing you 3 different ways that I was able to modernize my older apartment. It's like not that old, but it's old enough where if you're trying to spruce it up, you gotta do a little something. So stay tuned for 3 renter-friendly apartment DIY hacks. That's a mouthful, but stay tuned. Here's a better view of what these rods look like. And I don't plan to stay here forever, so I just wanted a temporary solution that would get me by without my clothes looking dingy on this. And I cleaned this entire thing, wiped it down. You should have seen the paper towels. I should have taken a picture of it, but they were black. And I don't know how that even happens. Like, how do these get dirty? I don't know, but I was not gonna risk it. And I bought these off of Amazon. I'm probably gonna tape it or cut it, or it's gonna be hidden, this little part, but it just looks so much better already. I'll show you what the tubes look like. I thought it would just come with 1 roll of these. Yeah, baby, there's more than 1. So it came with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I definitely only needed like 2, but maybe someone else needs these. Maybe I'll find a way to give this to someone. Maybe I'll throw them out, but I think they just came in handy. So I'm really happy. I can't wait to see how my closet continues to develop. It just looks so much better. Nice, cohesive, white, clean. Boo! Yay! Oh my God, I'm like 5. Okay, time to do the other side and say goodbye to the rods. As you can see, it's this dated color, and I just really wanted to bring life. As I mentioned, it was already hard, like having to let go of the idea of having the loft. So I was like trying to take matters into my own hands and decided to get this marble contact paper. I noticed that my best friend used this and she told me it was so easy, and I loved the way it came out. You couldn't even tell it was peel and stick. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get me one of them. I found this roll at Walmart and it was probably less than $5, and I only needed 1. There are instructions on the back of it to let you know how exactly to go about it, but you'll definitely need a pen or a pencil, probably scissors, and some type of squeegee tool. You can use a credit card. I'm pretty sure I ended up using my health insurance card because it was a little bit more thin. I decided to measure out the sections first and have those pieces already pre-cut and then go in, but it was really challenging. This kitchen has so many different dips and curves and divots, if that's even a word. And so just trying to find pieces that match, and honestly improving when there were sizes that I didn't get right and just hoping for the best. Yeah. Look at that. So far, so good. This next part was probably my favorite part and the easiest part of this whole surface, just because it's one straight piece that just covers the majority of the surface or surface area, whatever. If I didn't have the stove right next to me, it probably would have been easier, but we made it through. Look at that. You can just see the difference already, and then boom. Like, it looks brand new. You can see that it's contact paper, but I figured once I put everything on the surface, you wouldn't even be able to tell, and it would just come into its own. And it really did, and I'm so proud of that. Next is my bedroom's wallpaper, and if you're a returning subscriber, you've seen this before. This is usually my backdrop, and I'm so proud of how it turned out. So you can see that I got 3 packs of this new wallpaper. I got this from Home Depot, but I'm pretty sure you can get them at Lowe's. I would definitely check online, but I will have it linked in the description. Yeah, I bought 3, and each pack was a little less than $40. And what I will say first is that being in this apartment has saved me over $400 compared to what I was going to be spending at the loft. So I was so excited to put some of that towards my little renovations and my DIY projects and just create my own style from scratch. I did also save a lot right before I moved out, and I talk about that in my How to Get Your First Apartment video. But yeah, I was just excited to do whatever I can to bring life to it, just like I wanted for my countertops. So I actually found that this was a lot easier than the countertops, probably because you're able to work with much more paper at a time, if that makes sense. And especially depending on the layout of your wall and where your windows are, you're able to lay more at a time without having to cut it. At least that's how it was for my windows. If you want to do this on a wall that doesn't have a window, you will definitely have an easier time. But as long as you're patient wherever your windows are, if that's where you want to have your accent wall, just take your time, go through it. You don't have to rush. And even if you move some pieces around and flip it upside down, I promise you when it's done, you won't even be able to tell. It wasn't until I got to the edge of the window that it started to get a little tricky, but even that wasn't hard. And I know I showed you guys the pack in the beginning of this chapter of renovations, but I'm using an X-Acto knife, and I want to keep calling it a squeegee. I don't know if that's what it's called, but the thing you use to get air bubbles out. And it came in a pack together from Home Depot, so I'm going to try seeing if I can link that below. But yeah, it was so nice and easy to glide through the paper. It felt like wrapping paper on Christmas, but actually thicker than wrapping paper. But you know what I mean. It was satisfying. It was enjoyable or whatever. I was kind of eyeballing it, but I was also using the little squeegee thing to help get as straight of a line as possible. There are times when you have to really improvise, and if the pattern of the brick from one sheet to another isn't lining up, you kind of have to move it up and down and maybe even flip it around in order to just find your closely matched pattern. I took a break for a few days because putting this up, it was easier than the countertops, but it takes a lot out of you if you have high walls. And mine aren't even the highest of walls, but anyways, I took a little break and now I came back. I wasn't in that much of a rush to finish these by a certain time because I only had a bed frame and a desk in my room. I barely had any other pieces of furniture that would be, dependent on me finishing this wall. My kitchen countertops, on the other hand, I really needed that done because I had so many things for the kitchen that I needed to put away, but I couldn't do it until obviously the foundation is laid. So yeah, but the wallpaper was easy, fun, and faster than I thought. By the way, I forgot to mention, there are so many different patterns of wallpaper that you can get. If you want brick, guess what? There's white brick, there's gray brick, there's so many other like floral patterns. Like, you could do whatever you want on your wall. I just wanted to do the warm reddish brown brick to go with a lot of the black appliances that I have, or black pieces of furniture and decor that I have in the room. But I was so close to just getting the white because it's so pretty and clean, and I feel like it probably goes with more, but I love how mine came out. The loft was everything that I wanted and more, and I felt so accomplished being able to get that. And when things fell through the ringer, like just 2 hours later, I started feeling very discouraged. I kind of felt like a failure, especially because whenever you go on social media, like everyone's showing their brand new luxury apartment, and I kind of wanted to do the same thing. I'm not even gonna lie to you, but honestly, I think that was the universe's way of humbling me just a little bit. But I have no regrets because I was able to push myself to be creative and find different ways to spark that creativity, and I did just that. Who finished her wall? Guess who finished her wall? I'm so excited. It came out so good. It honestly didn't take that long. And this was the hardest part. I literally just made a collage of the scraps because I did not want to go into the third package if I only needed it for a small section. So I dug up the scraps, made a collage. If you look really closely, you can tell it's a little janky, but all together, this looks a bomb. It looks so good. It's just crazy how well this came out. Are you kidding? Loft look without loft prices? Sign me up.